The 2021-2022 LA Lakers basketball season will go down as one of the most disappointing seasons by any team in the history of the league. When the team was assembled prior to the season beginning, was touted as being one of the two top contenders along with the Brooklyn Nets to meet in the finals and compete for the title. Well, at the end of the 82 games, they were far below 500 and missed even the play-in tournament. Now, even throughout the season, when the problems were being exposed and it was known that the injuries were there, it was still believed that despite all of that they would hold on to at least the 9th seed and make it into the play-in tournament and hopefully be completely healthy at that time in order to make a surprise comeback run and cause some waves and cause some problems for some other contenders. Now, there's a lot of fans online who are putting a large portion of the blame onto LeBron James. Now, this is not unwarranted. As a self-proclaimed prior LeBron James hater, not really a hater, just don't really think he's the GOAT or should be in the conversation, I was hesitant. I was just a little cautious to accept him as a full-fledged member of the LA Lakers, although when he did join 3 seasons ago, and even now today, at 37 years of age, he's still one of the top players in the league. I just never really thought he had that extra thing that I think the true greats have. He puts up the numbers, he can perform, he can put on a show, but there's just a little grit, some type of heart that I think he doesn't have. And there's a lot of experts now that are agreeing that this may tarnish his legacy in terms of being the GOAT. Now, in these last 3 games played without any of the big 3, LeBron, now one of my criticisms against him is that he sits out critical games like he did this season many times. Even when the Lakers were mathematically still in the hunt, he was sitting out crucial, critical, marquee matchups against players like Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, CP3. There was games where he could have played, he could have contributed to the win, and we could have possibly made the play-in tournament. He didn't do that. You could say he was injured, he had a sore knee, he had a sore ankle. I'm not really buying it. I watched Kobe play for 20 years, and I seen that man play. If he could play, he would play. There was no way you could keep him off the court. If there was a chance to win and improve in the standings, he would be there. This is what the current generation of Lakers fans like myself are expecting from someone who is supposed to be in the GOAT conversation. Nobody's really talking about Kobe in the GOAT conversation. It's just Jordan and LeBron. Well, for fans like myself, personally, I would pick Kobe here to LeBron just based on his sheer toughness and will to win alone. But that's not what this is about. So, in the 3 games after being mathematically eliminated from the play-in tournament last Tuesday when we lost to the Suns, the Lakers went 2-1. And in those 3 games, you had 3 different players put up big numbers. You had Taylor Horton-Tucker have a 40-point game. Okay. Last night, in another win, we won 2 out of 3. Last night, you had Malik Monk put up 41, and you had Austin Reeves at the same time have a 31-point triple-double. And he hit a lot of key shots, made a lot of key plays. It was all within the flow of the game. None of it was in garbage time. And it was all done while playing the game the right way, sharing the ball, moving the ball, not being greedy, and making plays that affected and impacted the game. The team was more cohesive, was playing more free, having more fun. And it just goes to show you don't need a superstar to get exciting dunks. I mean, for God's sake, that pump reverse dunk that, I don't know his name, McCullen, the guy we signed for one last game off the South Bay Lakers, can give you that. Malik Monk can give you 41 with some exciting dunks and some beautiful footwork and just exciting play. Austin Reeves he's hitting game winners during the season when it still mattered. That he's got heart, he plays tough, and it's just better to see the ball distribution, the cohesiveness of the team without the, dare I say it, diva mentality of some of these entitled superstars. LeBron being at the top of the list, as great as he might be with his philanthropy, if you like his brand of activism, I can't take anything away from him for the way he gives back to his community. Those are all good things. But when it comes to being a killer on the court, when basketball is your sport, your profession, your bread and butter, this is where you're supposed to shine the brightest. Take away his numbers, and a lot of times he looks like he's not the man out there. We've seen him get shellacked. Seen him getting beaten and swept. And when the going get tough, he doesn't seem to be the toughest one out there. I hate to say that. And today the Lakers fired Frank Vogel officially. They had their exit interviews, and I believe that he was somewhat of a scapegoat in that scenario because LeBron James, LeGM, wanted to have control and hold the reins of who came, who went, and who did what, and what their role was. And personally, I wouldn't mind seeing him get traded for some young assets that we could build around going forward. I don't really care about superstars or a big three. The league right now seems to be trending towards teams with maybe one superstar, all-star type player, but just surround them with a bunch of young, hungry players who love the game of basketball and who can play together as a cohesive team. The era of the superstar may have begun, I don't know when, for me, and from what I recognize from history, was sort of with Dr. J, but mostly with Magic and Bird revitalizing their league and becoming these larger-than-life characters. It was carried on by Jordan. And then, of course, the 2000s, you had Kobe and whatnot, but the 2000s was full of potential superstars who were supposed to take the mantle from Jordan. And then, of course, LeBron has been there ever since. There's always good players, but I think this emphasis on one major superstar, one savior for your team, this is over. You need a team with a true leader who truly does it in the locker room, in the hearts and minds of his teammates, and not just on paper, for the public. I personally wouldn't mind going back. I would prefer to see a young, scrappy team with relative unknowns play with heart and passion every night than an older, played-out player, diva-style team with these people that are entitled because they think what they did in the past, their resume entitles them to, having carte blanche on the court now. No, I think you got to earn it every game. You got to earn it every minute, every game, and you got to earn it every season, and you can't rest on your laurels. As a Laker fan, I'm highly disappointed with the way the season ended, and I just honestly bring back Monk, bring back Reeves, bring back THT. I'm sure there's a few in there that I would like to see come back. Wendy and Gabriel. Shit, bring back Dwight Howard, but fuck everybody else. I'm no expert. I just call it how I see it. You tell me what you think in the comments. Until next time, U-N-O.